Welcome back to the Cabbage Patch. I'm Dad.
I'm Tommy.
And I'm Gus.
And today we're doing yet another game called House of Danger.
And this time it's literally a choose your own adventure.
It's a choose your own adventure. So we've got a bunch of these books upstairs as part of our library, and they're awesome. And I used to read them when I was a kid, and they're great. They're like playing a game all by itself. We actually have another game associated with the choose your own adventure that you might remember, Tommy. It came with a little D4 die that you rolled to figure out what page you were going to turn to in the story. Maybe we can review that next time. But this is a classic choose your own adventure from a classic book called House of Danger.
And it looks a lot like, and the cover looks a lot like
it looks like the books because this is actually the cover of a book called House of Danger.
And there's an ominous small big dog figure on one of the...
Absolutely. So there's actually some clues that you're supposed to do here when you start the game. When you start the game, you're supposed to look at this side of the board for 2 minutes to get clues, because those clues will become important. So if you look at this, there's a guy, there's a spider web, there's a pool, there's the cool house, there's a frog, there's some other stuff there. But then you turn it over and you put your counters on the track in the 3 spot for the psychic scale, and the 3 spot for the danger meter, right? And as you turn over story cards, you start at the beginning of the book, and then somebody reads them. And then at the end of the first thing, you get to draw a clue, which in this case, for the very first clue, was to draw the goal card, right? Which the goal card for chapter 1 is to get inside the Marsden house. So the whole story reads out loud by one of the people reading it. And as the person that reads it comes across different elements, sometimes it'll say draw a clue, right? Sometimes it'll say choose your next step, go to a different story card. And all the story cards are numbered, right? There's a number in the upper right, left-hand side of the card. So it'll say, if you want to do, for instance, if you want to search the wall for a way in, go to story card 13. If you want to climb the gate, go to story card 7. And then when we make a choice, we dig into the deck, find story card 7, and read the story that's on there, right? So when it comes to a challenge, when it says, here's an optional challenge, let's find one of these. Optional challenge, fight the creature. So there's a creature partway through the first chapter. And if you win the challenge, you draw clue number 10. And if you lose, you raise the danger meter by 2. And the danger meter and the psychic meter come into play much later in the story. But it's really important to keep the danger meter down and the psychic meter going up, right?
Well, I don't know what the psychic meter does.
I imagine it's a positive thing because we want the psychic meter to go up as we go. So we end up getting things that are helpful as those meters raise and lower.
It's our psychic scale.
Right. So we've got cards that are items that let us...
Oh, I think it's our life.
It might be life if we get... Yeah, it might be life. So we can figure that out. All we did was play chapter 1, so we don't know. Right? But as you do stuff, the psychic meter goes up, and I think that's good. And the danger meter goes up, and I think that's bad. So you're going to walk through, read the story elements, have challenges. When you want to try to pass a challenge, how do you pass it? Do you remember?
You have to roll dice, and anything under 3 in the first 3 danger levels will get you there.
Right. So your danger meter give you your passing score, and you need to roll a 3 or better when your danger meter is a 3 to pass the challenge. And then you'll get a clue. And the clues end up being story elements and items. And the items seem to be important the further we get into the story. So we only played through the first chapter, right?
Yeah.
We're on the grounds of the Marsden Manor. Our objective was to get inside the Marsden house.
And one time we got eaten alive.
By dogs.
And we, absolutely. But it let us reset. So it never actually, at least at the beginning, it never killed us. Although it possibly would kill us later in the game. Because that's what happens in the Choose Your Own Adventure, right? You read the story and it says, I made a bad decision, and then you get swallowed by aliens. So in this particular run through, we encountered a chimpanzee playing a violin. And instead of ignoring it and going somewhere else, we went and looked at it.
Well, you guys. I said
Yeah,
that
you were just reading.
It's beautiful. Thing was kind of disturbing.
You're just reading. We went and looked at it and accidentally set off an alarm, and a bunch of dogs ate us, and we had to start back at the previous story icon, or previous story card. So it's a really cool Choose Your Own Adventure story, and it gives us an ability to actually track our progress on a board as opposed to just reading the book, and it lets us all play together. So Tommy was the reader. Gus and I were actually making the decisions, and we made it through, I think we got to we were at psychic level 7 and danger level 3.
And then a dog ate us.
And then a dog ate us. And then we were able to get to our chapter 1 goal of getting inside the Marsden house. And the great thing is, the way the game works is when you get to that goal, it oftentimes lets you do what?
Do a challenge.
No, go back and do the things you didn't do before, right? So, story return. There are items in this chapter that will be useful later in the story. You can take a risk and go back for anything you missed by following the choices below. And then it'll let you go back to other story elements to find other things. And I think that's kind of cool because it's basically a built-in, hey, don't forget to finish the stuff. Because we only got through about
1%.
a third of the cards in this story, which means there's a bunch more stuff there. Now, of course, there's a bunch more danger, but there's a bunch more stuff. You don't read
It
ahead.
is indeed the House of Danger. And even before you enter it,
You got eaten by dogs.
You can get eaten by dogs, or a thing will snap your neck.
So the rules are really simple. You just read and follow the instructions on the cards, right?
And and occasionally throw dice and make decisions.
Or heavy weapons guy, which is the monster.
So-
will come and eat you.
So there aren't any rules to remember other than when you have a challenge, you roll the dice and you make sure that the dice result is over the danger meter. What did you like about the game, Gus?
The fact that we can choose our adventure.
We can choose our story as we go through it. Okay. How about you, Thomas?
The graphics are really good. It just gives me like a 90s feeling.
It gives you a 90s feeling, huh?
Like an old, like something I'm too young to even remember, but
You are too young to
old,
remember
but
the 90s.
like old the game box cartridges and that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got that going on because these books were from at least the 80s, if not maybe a little earlier. I'll have to look to see when this one was published. They're certainly from the 80s. They might have been from the 70s. These books are old. And we've got, like I said, we got like 6 or 7 of them upstairs. And I quite enjoyed them when I was a kid. And you enjoyed them periodically throughout your childhood. So that's a very cool thing. It is very reminiscent of the book. So I thought that was cool too. This did really bring me back to being a little kid and playing and reading a book like this. I'm going to have to find a copy of the book just to see if we can, read it, because I think that'll be fun. But after we play through all, how many chapters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 chapters to get through to play the game. Right? 5 chapters. So that's pretty darn cool. So that's what I liked about it. There isn't anything not. Is there anything not to like about it? Because it's actually pretty straightforward and it's a really cool story. How about you?
I didn't really like. I liked everything about it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. How about you, Tommy? Is there anything you didn't like?
I was about to accidentally say I didn't really like anything about it.
Yeah. But that's not true. You did like everything about it. How about you? Anything you didn't like about it?
I mean, there's one thing. Don't play this when it's a little bit late
Oh, yeah, because then you get all amped up and excited about the story.
and scared.
And maybe a little scared. Anything?
No, it's kind of long.
Well, I don't think it's that long.
Yeah, it's
Time
not
is
that
it?
long.
Yeah, it's not that long. We've only been at it for like half an hour. So you get these items. The items persist to the next level of the story. So you can save your progress. You can save your game, right? And that's cool. All right. Well, I guess we're ready to give it a rating. What do you want to give it, Thomas?
2.
You're not Thomas.
He gave it 2. I gave it
Solid 2.
I can give it a solid 2 as well. I think it's worth the total 6 cabbages.
There's not much going on, but it's nice. It's good.
It's a great way to read a story and participate in the story. And even more than just doing the choose your own adventure book. So I thought that was cool. So 2 and 2, 6 cabbages. Awesome.
6 cabbages.
All right.
Subscribe, like, hit that bell, Tommy.
Leave a comment if you wish.
Eat plenty of cabbages. Not us though. You wanna know the reason? Cause your house is gonna become haunted.
Oh, if you eat us, the house is going to become haunted?
Yep.
Okay.
By us, probably.
A house of danger indeed. All right. Well, that's the end of the video, and we appreciate and thanks so much.
Goodbye.
See you next time.